Hello and welcome back to another video. My name is Brandon Watts, and today we're going to be talking about why and where I place my flash pops when trying to light up a room for a flash ambient technique when photographing real estate. So let's go and get started. We're here in Photoshop. My first layer is going to be an HDR layer that I've already merged my 3 brackets from. My second layer is a fill flash layer. The camera and myself are actually standing in the middle of a doorway, and the light is being popped with my arm reached right up above the camera, and the light is facing back, bouncing off the wall above the door to fill up the room with enough light that it gets rid of the shadows, or helps alleviate some of the shadows that comes in from the ambient exposures, as well as it's going to serve a purpose for also bringing in the correct color compared to the ambient exposure, which has plenty of orange color cast from the light. So this is going to be the correct color for the room, and that's going to help us out there. Then we have a bounce right, which obviously you can see it's bouncing off the right side of the room. It's going to fill up the left hand side and start to introduce these shadows and contrast that you're not going to get when just filling up a room with light when bouncing it directly behind you. And so the next one is just going to be the complete opposite. It's going to be a bounce left to give us some shadows and contrast. You can see in the pillows here, there's going to be some shadows that are going to be introduced compared to the fill flash, which is literally filling in all the shadows. So let's go and get started. I'm going to run my action to create my 50% blend, which if you've seen any of my past videos, you'll see how that is created. And then we have my fill flash, which we'll go ahead and duplicate. Set the first one to darken, the second one to color, and we're going to group those two together. This can be our darken blend. And then with the right hand side, we're going to create a white mask. Hit G on the keyboard for gradient. Make sure our black is set to the foreground, and we'll just hold down shift and click straight across to get that nice blend. I'm going to drag that across again just to make that mask more subtle compared to before. And after, with that second click, it helps makes things blend a little bit more seamlessly. And then we'll go ahead and, well, first let's go and turn these off. We'll turn on our darken and our ambient, and normally that's what you're going to get when you just fill in with flash straight behind you and you're just not creating any contrast from the bounced layers, the bounce right and bounce left. But once you start to introduce those two layers, you can see immediately how much of a difference that makes. Let's go ahead and we'll just lower this ambient blend so you can get a better feel for it. But and to be honest, you don't even need a HDR bracket if you like this look already. I mean, this is just with a bounced light, and then once you start adding that contrast, and then from there we can merge all and finish touching this up a little bit. Now with the shadows, I don't like to raise the shadows because we worked so hard to bring those in. I prefer contrast, so I usually leave that at 0 or slightly lower. This is all just preference right here. I do a replace color, which you can find in the adjustments, image adjustments at the very bottom, replace color. And what I tend to do is click either in this corner up here where there's a pool of shadow, or anywhere like along these edges over here. I'm gonna make sure my fuzziness is set to around 130-ish. Drop the saturation down to 24, minus 24. And that gets rid of a little bit extra of the color cast that comes from the light. It's a little bit subtle, but it's there. That's before and then after. Super subtle, but takes care of that. And then we'll go ahead and hit it with a little luminar. Take a little sip of coffee while that loads. All right. Before and after. Before, after. Just a nice little finishing touch I like to do to my images. And there you go. Super easy. So this is what we started with on the HDR layer, and then by introducing the flash layers, that's where we took it. I mean, if you're someone who works with HDR and you want to mess with this to try and get it to a certain level, by all means, work hard and go for it. But this is super easy, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is by going through my normal process without having to explain it. Once you have actions that are created, and I'll walk you through this in another video, everything is just done super easily, super quick. It doesn't take long at all. I mean, look at the highlights in the lamp on the fan. They're not blown out compared to what you would get with a HDR layer. I mean, you could turn that in right there and it only took a minute. So quick. So quick. You don't have to do the luminar. Luminar just adds an extra step. It's not really a necessary step, but it's a step nonetheless. Hit it with a sharpen. And there you go. I mean, done. I will literally save that and close it. That's it. If you all enjoyed any of the information that I've been putting out, I greatly appreciate a like and subscribe. Thank you all, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.